Welcome back. In our second part of our show today, we are doing our every other month focus on a group here at Green Spring. As you know, we have lots of groups. We started with the treasure chest, then we went to the poker clubs, and today we're doing the woodshop. And we have here with us the manager of the woodshop, who many of you saw here yesterday. I think this is the John week. John, I'm going to try this, John. John Kravchonok.
That's correct.
Close? Woo,
yes.
That's good. So you are the manager of the woodshop.
That means I, with the help of many other people, do things like empty the trash, make sure there are paper towels there.
Okay, that's a good thing. And you brought with you Eva Freund.
Good morning.
Good morning, Eva. And Eva is a woodshop user as well. I'm sure John
That's
is also.
true.
That's good. So how long has the woodshop been there?
My understanding is the woodshop started shortly after Green Spring came into being. I believe it's about 17 years, maybe it's going on 18 now.
Okay.
So that's the history. I've only been here going on 18 months, so it's hard for me to know
We learned that
exactly.
with your Who's Who interview yesterday.
Yes.
So the woodshop, as I understand it, and we do have some photos that I took of the woodshop, a lot of the equipment there was purchased by Green Spring, but a lot of the equipment and supplies have been donated by people moving in who said, I don't want to leave my chop saw at home, or I happen to have 42 wrenches in my set. Can you use them?
That's exactly true. We all know how difficult downsizing is to come here.
Yes.
And so we have found some very generous donors of equipment. I brought a bandsaw with me because I just couldn't stand to part it from. My wife wouldn't let me put it in the living room.
I would be that way with my sewing machine, so I understand.
So yes, that's precisely what happens. And people are sometimes a little surprised when they have a favorite tool and they offer it to us because they're moving here, and we say, oh, sorry, we've already got one of those, or we don't have room for it. And we'd love to have that, but we don't have room.
Well, as we saw in the photos, they just ran the photos through that we had, and it's a confined space, but you have a lot of equipment in there.
But it's a dedicated space, and one of the amenities of being here at Green Spring, and it's custom designed. It's a purpose-built for the woodshop. We're not moving in the reorganization because there's some things that are fixed in there, like the dust collection system.
Yeah, I don't know if folks watching noticed that we saw a lot of tubes, and what that is a dust collection system, so all the sawdust doesn't get into the air.
Green Spring is always concerned about our health, and that collection system is important for two reasons. Gets dust out of the air in the woodshop, but it keeps it from spreading anywhere else in the immediate area, vicinity.
Yeah.
And we've got two systems actually, and you don't notice that. One are all the silver pipes that is really keeps us from having to sweep the floor so often.
Right.
But there's two air scrubbers, one in each room.
I saw those.
And they turn the air. They're 400 cubic foot per minute machines, and so you could do the math, but probably in an hour they completely scrub all the air in a particular room.
So we are well equipped.
Yes.
John, how many people in the woodshop group?
The Woodshop Club, I think, currently has 53 members.
So these are 53 people who know how to work there, have been trained how to work there.
We would hope. The range of participants is a large spectrum. We have people who are members at $1 a month who come down once a year when they need a screwdriver or a hammer, or they want a piece of wood cut. And
so that's a possibility. If I had a piece of wood and it wasn't what I needed, someone in the woodshop could help me.
If you're a member, you can come on down and do it yourself as long as you know how to use the tools that you need to do it. If you're not a member, that is something we do for residents at large. If they bring something down or contact me and make an appointment, we will do those things for them. And believe me, that's the least of it. We have people who refinish. We have people who repair. There's.
So Eva, you're fairly new in the community also.
That's true.
And you saw the Woodshop Club advertised and you said...
No, that's not quite true.
Darn, I made up that story the wrong way, didn't I?
I knew that there was a woodshop group here. My wife, Elka, who had worked here a number of years, said, Eva, you're going to love the woodshop. And so when I saw it and my eyes lit up, she knew that I had made up my mind to move here as opposed to someplace else.
That encouraged you to come to Green Spring.
It did. Actually, it really did.
That's good.
That and the heated swimming pool.
Ah.
So those two things were the primary encouragement.
So what do you
me.
do in the wood shop?
What I do is I neither refinish nor assist other people. I joined the wood shop because it provided me an opportunity to have access to equipment I never had.
Ah.
I was one of these people who loved to build things like bookcases and small end tables, but did so on my patio because I didn't have a place for a real workbench. My biggest tool at home for years was my little electric skill saw.
Oh, wow.
You know, one of those.
Yes.
And then I came here and I had the availability of all these wondrous things, like the table saw.
I bet you wanted to move into the apartment right next door.
I did, actually. So I have the table saw and I have drill presses and band saws and the scroll saw, and of course the chop saw, which I just love, and clamps galore. And the one thing I really loved when I walked into the wood shop the first time, and Elke was with me on that first tour, and I said, look, all the things are on the wall in their correct place.
Oh, yeah,
and everything is by size.
It is the most beautifully organized place I have ever seen.
And I said, this is wonderful. This fits my need because I really am an anal
You're an
compulsive.
organized person.
Yeah, I am.
And that's all right.
Except on my desk where everything is organized except the papers that are strewn about.
But you know where they are.
Well,
kind of.
Every so often, like once a week, I pick up the slew of papers on my desk and I file them away.
That's good.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
And then the next week I can start afresh.
There you go. Or you just throw them away and start afresh.
But what I do, to get back to your question,
yeah.
I said I don't refinish and I don't do these other things. What I love to do is design things that either I need for myself or Elke needs for herself or something we need in the apartment. So in the apartment, one of the things we needed, we have a dining room table that we got to replace our original table, which was way too big for our much smaller apartment. And the table we got came with a leaf. So when we have a few guests, we can expand the table. Well, when we put in that leaf that came with it, the table is really pretty big. But when it's without the leaf, and we had our old chairs, the chair legs, because they come at an angle, were clunking into each other. So for a year, Elke and I were clunking into each other every time one of us pushed in or out. And one day I was sitting there and I said, Elke, what we really need is a half leaf.
Oh.
And she said, yeah. I said, I think I can, let me get under the table and take a look. So I opened the table up and I took a look and I said, I can make us a half leaf.
That's really neat.
And she said, what? I said, yeah, let me have a few minutes here and I'll sketch it out and then I'll think about it and tomorrow I'll take the measurements.
And it worked.
And it worked. And I really had to think about it to see if my wild idea was functional.
But that's kind of typical of a lot of people who work in the wood shop, that they have ideas and then put them together. One of the photos that we showed was of a dollhouse that a gentleman named Ben Simon, who people will know from the library, has put together, and it's gorgeous.
Actually, Ben probably built that, I'm guessing from talking to Ben, that was 30 years ago.
Oh, so it's not new?
It was for his daughter. And his daughter, or daughters, I don't know how many Ben has, and she had it for years, and it eventually got into her attic where it was slowly falling apart. Ben brought it back and has brought it back to life, and he has some plans of what he's going to do with it. But
and I believe it's my understanding from what Dan Chrisman told me that it's going to be auctioned at the Christmas Bazaar, perhaps?
That
Something coming up.
is one of the possibilities.
Yeah.
And whatever he's going to do with it, it's going to be of a charitable nature.
Good.
And I'm not sure exactly. I think he has a couple of opportunities.
So we have talked here a lot, more than we thought we did, and we're real short on time. Two things I want to do. One is to point out to our viewers this lovely refinished table, which was once out on the patio and not in as lovely shape as it is. And two are the chairs on which we're sitting, because one of the woodshop members, Kathleen Illig, refinished both of these. These chairs were last seen in the Woodland Skies dining room with finish that was flaking off, and without reupholstering, Kathleen was able to beautifully refinish these chairs. And that's what woodshop can do.
She's really talented.
So quickly, if I want to learn how to do things in the woodshop, what do I do?
Come on down to the woodshop. Find the woodshop first.
Which is
it's
where?
in Hampton Place.
Good
on the
question.
first floor. If you orient yourself to the bridge coming from town center, it's right in
under
that
that.
vicinity, down under that in Hampton Place.
Okay.
You can come in from the G lot, I believe. Excuse me. I'm so
I
sorry.
think that's for you.
No, that isn't so good. And well,
There we go.
no,
It's still going?
it's still going, and it's going to be that way.
Oh, it's the wrong one.
No, it should have worked for my watch.
Okay.
But anyway, I excuse my apologies.
That's all right.
On the door are my hours.
Okay.
Now, this is a hobby, and I keep the hours as best as I can, but I have other responsibilities that sometimes get in the way. But my telephone number's there also.
Okay.
Give us a call, and we'll set up a time where I can meet with people and see what your issue is or what you want to have done. I'll see if I can find somebody that's interested in doing it.
So
Marry the
two
up.
things, someone doing something for you, and the other one, someone like Eva saying, I'd like to work here, what do I need to know?
That's my favorite thing to do. Have somebody come on in, show them the wood shop, ask them what they're interested in, see if there's a place for them to do that, and show them around, and
Good.
sign them up. And there's
So
two forms to
this
sign.
is really meeting our goal for this program, and that is to encourage people to join a group. You had, Eva, something you want to add?
One kind of final comment. For people who come in and are really interested in learning, John is an awesome teacher.
All right.
I've had numerous teachers over my lifetime. John is awesome.
Well, that's terrific.
Don't
And
know everything, but
Here in a week or 2 weeks, I think we're going to have another visit to the wood shop that we're doing some videotaping from here. So more information on the wood shop upcoming.
And when you see that, you'll see another project that I made.
Okay, that's exciting. Good. Thank you for joining us today, both of you.
my pleasure.
Appreciate it. It's a cool place. I didn't know what to do with all those tools, but I watched This Old House a lot. It's like, I know what that is. I know what that is.